I'm Gary Hubler. I'm a crop duster most of the year, but I go to Reno every September to race in the National Championship Air Race. This is my 22nd year at Reno. I race mainly in the Formula One class. I've won the previous 3 years in a highly modified cassette design we call Mariah after the win. We typically never have enough time to finish the stuff on our to-do list before the race. But when we arrive at the race site, we do not do any testing. We just race what we bring.
Let's see if we got some more of them. I got some of them.
Let's see, that's going to be our ground wire, right?
My race crew knows Mariah well. They know every nut and bolt on the airplane and have an almost instinctive knack of knowing how to tune it.
I've worked on jets all my life, so working on these little puddle jumpers has been a really neat experience. I think that's why I like it so much. It's different, and the people. The people around the flight around here is just, they're special. Because we all have the same love, you know, seeing these things go through the air. So that's the main thing. Have a good time. Yeah, they call me the crew chief, but actually all I do is just keep them going in the right direction. Make sure we have a safe airplane. That's my goal, how I feel.
Safe and fast?
Well, yeah, we like to have it fast, but I want him to have a real safe airplane. So we can have fun another day, you know. I've sure enjoyed it, though. It's been a lot of fun.
In the Formula One hangar, all the planes and teams are packed pretty close. Most of us have been coming here for quite a few years and know each other. In some ways, this is like a family reunion. Even though we race hard to win, there's still a lot of respect and friendship. A lot of tools and parts get loaned back and forth. On the first 3 days, we qualify the aircraft. We fly the course high as fast as we can and until we're ready to let down and start the clock. The person with the highest qualifying speed starts first in the fastest race.
I don't want to cut anybody else there.
This is Brian Reberry from Boise, Idaho. He's a rookie this year, and he's really a fantastic person and brought a neat little airplane and is doing a fantastic job. The next airplane is Charlie Greer's, and that's a gorgeous airplane that's Nemesis copy, and it's potentially extremely fast. In fact, he has a qualifying speed 3 years ago that was about 1 mile an hour slower than me, and that was my best qualifying speed. My race crew and myself watch the competition, and we run times on them so we can determine who's going to give us trouble.
The Formula One class has the smallest planes and has very strict rules for the airplane and engines to keep everybody pretty evenly matched. The airplane cannot weigh less than 500 pounds and must have a wing area of at least 66 square feet. The engine starts out as a stock 0200 Continental, the same as in a Cessna 150, but it has been tweaked and tuned to run at over 4,000 RPM and put out about twice the factory horsepower.
My airplane's pretty small, and I just barely fit in it. So when I get in, I have the crew kind of help me with the parachute and push the parachute down, and I've got to kind of just wiggle myself into it, you know, and get stuffed in there to the point that they can close the canopy.
Okay,
We try to build this airplane as light as possible to save weight, so you notice we don't have a starter. We hand prop them to start them.
3 strokes. 1 more. 4 strokes. 2 more blades. 1, 2, wait, contact.
here we're crossways to the taxiway, waiting for our turn to make the qualifying run. My crew has to hold the airplane down while I'm running it up and going through my mag checks and my tune with my mixture. Then when I get ready to leave, my son actually has to pick the tail up and scoop me around down the taxiway, because I do not have a steerable tail wheel. I have a little tiny rollerblade wheel that's fixed straight. Another weight-saving deal. Now I'm looking for the operations guy. You can see him giving me the signal to take the runway. And they release me to go. My qualifying strategy is to stabilize the engine temperatures by flying about 4 laps. And when all the temperatures come in, I'll waggle my wings and then watch for the green flag. When the green flag comes down, I'll just fly as tight a course as I can possibly fly to get the best times that I can get. I qualify with a speed of 257.1 miles an hour, which is really good. But Dave Hubler is only a little slower, and it just might be a really tight battle.
It was probably the most perfect qualifying conditions I've ever been in. You know, it's the air was a little on the cool side. I would have liked the air to be in probably 15 degrees warmer, but you talk about calm, and it was just sweet. So I had a good ride up there.
Strategy for the day?
Go fast, turn left.
That's it?
That's about it.
One thing that's interesting about the race this year is that 4 out of the 19 airplanes are from Idaho. So there's a 20% chance that somebody from Idaho will take home the prize.
Dave Hoover's the big competition, but you know, if my engine doesn't run right, everybody might be the big competition. So we just need to keep running good.
As soon as everybody gets towed out to the end of the runway, we'll get in a circle and have a meeting and discuss the takeoff and pick positions that we're going to start on the runway.
Okay, Gary, you have first pick. Okay, David. Okay, front row is full. Charlie. Okay. 4. Scotty.
Outside
Middle row. Okay, middle row is full. Steve. 6. And Birch has 7.
I'll choose 7.
Good choice. Okay. Robbie, can you go over the start for these guys?
Down to 5 minutes, I will have my guys, I will have the red flag, and my guys will have the red flag standing straight up. We'll give you the countdown from 5 minutes also. And at the 1 minute mark, my guys will come off the field. You guys are on me. And I'll have the red flag up at the 1 minute for maybe 30 seconds. I will slowly bring it down. And don't do what Maryland did in the Viking class and go at that point. I'll bring the red flag down. Green flag will go up. And I'll make sure everybody's good, doing good. And flag will go down. Race is on. Fly safe. Have fun.
Who's flying our second or third rows?
Race control has just notified our ops people that we have about 12 minutes to take off. So we need 10 minutes to warm the airplanes up. So now we're in a hurry to get to our starting positions on the runway. It's always a big hurry to get the parachute on and get tucked into the airplane so we can get a start. I like to start the airplane when they give me about 7 minutes to take off. My crew's holding the airplane to take some pressure off me, so I don't have to hold the brakes so hard, because even right after I start, I'm running quite a bit of power to run the temperatures up as quick as possible. The only thing I'm thinking of at this point is being the first one to go when that flag comes down, so I can be the first one on the course. This is where the fun begins. Scotty actually gets ahead of me on the first pylons, but I'm back out in front before we get around the first lap to start the race, and I take the green flag. On the first lap, I can see two shadows on the ground, and I know Dave Hoover's the one that's right on me. The second lap's the same thing. You know, after that, I can only see one shadow on the ground, which means, you know, he's a little further back. That's a real good sign. Then I'm out in front and everything goes real well. The air's smooth. I'm not in any turbulence until I get to the fourth or the fifth lap. I know Dave is right behind me, really close, but I know I've got enough distance on him that I'm not quite seeing any shadows in the turn, but I still know he's there. I'm just flying as tight and as low as I can, so he's got to go around the outside of me. There's no way he can get on the inside of me. You know, if he's going to pass me, I want him to work hard for it. You know, he's right on me. We're really evenly matched. On lap number 8, I take the checker flag and win the race. It's good to be on the ground, and now I'm just waiting to hear a debriefing from my crew to what happened. You know, they'll tell me what went on behind me and how close it was. When we get on the ground, I look at our times and see that he was less than a half a second behind me.
Oh, really? Oh, he was smoking.
So we had to go around Scotty.
Cool.
Ready?
I go over to congratulate Dave on a good race. You know, I know he's upset. I know he wanted to beat me really bad. You know, he's been planning this day for 5 or 6 years. And, but he is just a great person and a good sport. And, you know, I'd rather win anyway.
Everything went good.
As good as can be?
Well, yeah, I could have turned another 100 RPM, so that would have been better. But everything went good. It was a nice race. The air was excellent, smooth. I was out in front. Everybody was behind me was getting the hell beat out of them. So it was fun.
When you win a race, it's sort of a big deal. They put you and your family and crew in an old fire truck and parade you in front of the stands. My granddaughter Allison seems to like that ride. There just isn't anything more fun than watching her smile and wave at the crowd. Between the races, there's more fine-tuning and maintenance of the airplane, like changing the oil, because we burn the oil every race. We burn it up. So we run different oil every race. We read the spark plugs, make sure all the, you know, every plug is burning properly, and we look in the cylinders to make sure that we're not scoring up any cylinders. The extreme temperatures that we're running, you know, we've melted pistons quite a few times.
on the race course, when you're, you know, if you're catching airplanes, if you're out front and catching airplanes, when you're within a half a lap of them, you start getting into the turbulence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause you just became a memory.
What's on the board?
I can't hang around and talk too long because I also fly one of the unlimited racers. It's a Sea Fury called Bad Attitude. This particular aircraft isn't the fastest unlimited, but it produces course speeds of over 400 miles an hour while developing close to 3,000 horsepower. The fuel flow on the course is about 330 gallons per hour. The planes that race in the unlimited class are mostly highly modified World War II fighter planes like Sea Furies or P-51 Mustang.
This year, we have a Grumman F-7 Tiger Cat, a carrier-based Navy fighter with around 5,000 horsepower. When those engines start up, it really sounds good.
I'm really blessed to be able to fly this airplane because this is definitely too rich for my pocketbook.
When we start the unlimited race, we take off and form up on Steve Hinton in the T-33 jet. We circle behind the mountain to the south. When we come around the mountain, he moves us into line abreast position. When we're all in the proper line, he'll say, "You're looking good, you're looking good, then gentlemen, you have a race." At that time, I'll grab both the throttle and the prop and move them forward at the same time.
As we come around in tight formation, you know, we have airplanes on the bottom and airplanes up high. We are allowed to run radios and talk to our ground crew. Our ground crew is actually with binoculars telling us, you know, if we have somebody under us or on top of us and where to position ourselves. They'll tell us if it's safe to let down. If there's somebody on your tummy that you can't see, they'll tell you to hold, keep it level.
In 1984, I was invited to come down to Reno and fly Formula One. So that's how I stepped into Formula One racing. And in 2000, I was invited to come down to the Unlimited Rookie School and fly a P-51. So that's how I stepped into the Unlimited air racing.
Crop dusters usually do real well down here in Reno. They're real comfortable being close to the ground and close to obstacles. So it's just a natural for them.
I have flown the Formula One at 260 miles an hour on the course. I thought I was really going fast, but at 400 plus, the ground goes by in a hurry. I'm just amazed that an Idaho crop duster like me can even get the chance to fly, you know, an expensive airplane like this. I know I've just been living most pilots' dream. I've got a guy right behind me, and I know he's there. And I know he's trying to pass, and I'm flying just as tight and as I can. I've got all the power poured to it that I can get to it, and I can see him in my peripheral vision, and he passes right over the top of me, you know, to the inside, and so now he's ahead. He just had enough to get about a plane length in front of me, so that's where we finished. I finished third place instead of second place in this race, which is still pretty good. We do a debrief of the race. You know, they basically tell me what was happening behind me, and because I cannot see behind me, it's just, you know, what they tell me.
Well, how'd that go?
That was fun.
In between the air races, they do air shows while they're changing the 4 courses. They bring in some of the best performers on the air race circuit. These guys are just hand-picked and extremely talented. Man, look at that roll. The little interstate cadet that you see is flown by Kent Peach, and he's just not only a real good guy, but he just puts on a fantastic show. He rolls that thing around with one aileron. He has one aileron he pulls off in flight. It's part of the act. And I just personally can't believe that, you know, the airplane can even do the things that he's doing with it. There's the F-117, which is an awesome airplane to see fly by. There's several jet acts, the Thunderbirds and the Snowbirds. These are the Snowbirds. There just isn't any act out there that's more beautiful than the Snowbirds. Their precision is just matched by no other. You know, just imagine how much practice this would take. The Canadians apparently practice all the time in order to accomplish this. That diamond formation there is just, you can't get any more gorgeous than that. Look, nobody's out of place. Everybody's just positioned perfectly. It's like they've all got strings running from airplane to airplane. Mariah's wings are so long that it's hard to get it out of the hangar. We usually park clear at the back, and it's hard to get out of the hangar, so we just put the thing on little casters and roll it out sideways.
No, because that has them on the road here.
Those moccasins are 22 years old. They've been with me for the whole time I've been racing. This is the final race. This is the race where you make the money and the trophy. So as you can see with everybody's coats on, it's early morning, it's cold. We're looking right into the sun, and everybody's really busy because, you know, we're on the clock to try to get our airplanes ready and running at this point. Everybody's really focused, you know, it's time to get super serious. I've leaned the engine so it's running peak when I pour the power to it. And the next thing is to just watch the flagger and try to be the first one to let the brakes off when that flag goes down and get the power in and just hope that you can be the first one on the race course. Being the first one paramount, because then you don't have to go around anybody. I make a really good takeoff. I'm out in front the whole time. I start the clock on every airplane that's on the course when I take the green flag. And shadows are looking good. I just see one shadow there. That's an extremely good feeling. And the engine's running good. I'm watching the tach. The tach's staying steady. In fact, it even comes up just a little bit, as the engine warms up. As the engine warms up, I keep gaining just a little speed, up to about lap 4, and then it stabilizes. About lap 5, I've got an airplane in front of me, but he's still a ways out there, and I don't catch him. But he's just about staying in the same spot, and that must be Charlie Greer, because I think he got a late start and it's going pretty fast. If it was one of the real slow airplanes, I'd be coming up on him in a hurry. You notice the air's getting rough. You can see in the turns that the airplanes, their wings are wobbling when they hit turbulence. We just won the race at 252.3 miles an hour. That feels really good. I just can't believe that I've actually won the national championship air race for 4 times. That's my 4th win.
The most critical part was the takeoff to the scatter pylon. And, I had to get there ahead of David, because if David got in front of me, I probably couldn't get around him either.
Now it's time to be the celebrity, and I really don't like this part of it too much. I really feel that everybody else should be in the same limelight that I am, my crew, my family, and actually the rest of the race team that doesn't even show up at Reno.
We won, I told you. Had no doubt.
Well, I know next year a lot of people will be working on their racers to beat me. So this is no time to slack off. I really enjoy racing, and I'm sure I'll quit someday, but maybe it's just I'll quit when I stop having fun.